Good evening and welcome to The Big Story. I'm Dylan Ang. Now we begin first with the latest coming out from Hong Kong, where the extradition bill has been officially killed. Now, if you remember, it was the introduction of this bill that sparked off the protests several months ago. Let's cross it live now to Hong Kong with Straits Times regional correspondent Elizabeth Law. Hey Liz.
Hi Dylan.
Hey Liz, so now the bill is officially dead. What happens now?
To be fair, not much happens because when Chief Executive Carrielam announced that the bill was going to be formally withdrawn on September 4th, everyone thought, hey, does this mean that the protests are now going to die down a little bit more? Are people going to stop coming out? But no, because they've continued to come out in the month and a half since then, and they've actually continued to say that 5 demands, not one less, because it means that even if she had met one of their demands, which is for the bill to be killed or to be completely withdrawn,
right.
The fact is that they have 4 other demands, and of course we know that these demands are amnesty for the prisoners, for an independent for those who have been arrested to be reclassified from rioters to something else, for an independent commission to look into police brutality, and also lastly, of course, they want universal suffrage, which is to nominate and elect their own leaders. So I suppose nothing much is going to change. This is going to continue. But what is promising is the fact that last Sunday, in an interview with TVB, Mrs. Lam had actually said that if the IPCC, which is the Independent Police Complaints Committee, if their findings, so now they are the ones that are looking into police brutality instead of an independent commission, which is something similar to a COI. I've explained many times here what a COI is, so I'm not going to repeat it again. So
Yeah.
Basically said that if the IPCC cannot satisfy the public anger, then she would look into other means to try and assuage this very visceral public anger against the police. Now, what exactly she's going to do, she has not said, and it all waits to be seen.
Now, Liz, separately, the murder suspect who triggered off the protest was released from prison this morning. Of course, he was charged with money laundering, and actually, this caused a political row between Hong Kong and Taiwan. So, why is that so?
Okay, so this is like it's a multi-part question, right? Firstly, we need to go back to how this whole thing started in the first place. So basically, Chan Tong Kai, who is a Hong Kong man, went on holiday with his pregnant girlfriend to Taiwan. He killed her there, and he came back to Hong Kong, which means that he has now escaped getting arrested in Taiwan, because the Taiwanese police do not have jurisdiction here. So Hong Kong police have actually arrested him and put him in jail by saying that, oh, you stole her credit card and used your credit card, so therefore we can jail you for money laundering offences. But that being said, he still had all these murder charges that he had to face, because you killed someone, you can't just run away with it, and he admitted to it as well that he killed his girlfriend. So what happened was that Mrs. Lam now used this case as an example on why Hong Kong needed to have an extradition bill, which of course sparked off all the protests that we've seen for the last nearly 5 months. Which brings us to the last 2 weeks, starting from last week, where Chan, who has been in prison all this time, says that he feels completely remorseful, is racked with guilt, and what he wants to do is that he wants to surrender himself to Taiwan, which is great, because Hong Kong says, look, now you're surrendering yourself of your own accord, and if the Taiwanese take you in, we can actually draw a line under this entire incident. But no, Taiwan says, no, we will not accept his surrender, and it's sparked an entire war of words with Taiwan saying that Hong Kong firstly forced him to offer to surrender himself for political reasons, and they said that they will not accept his surrender, and only if Hong Kong agrees to a legal framework. And Hong Kong, on the other hand, says that, look, no, Taiwan, you are the ones that are politicizing it. Here you have a murderer who is walking free. We can't keep him in prison for any longer because he has served his time. Right. We can't keep an innocent man here. So why did this spark off such a huge war of words? If we take a step back, what this means for Taiwan is now facing an election that will be in January. Now, Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen, who is obviously quite pro-independence, to her, if her government were to say, okay, we are accepting this man who has surrendered to us on Hong Kong's terms, it would look like they are showing a way weakness, and also accepting by extension what is being proffered to them by Beijing, because Hong Kong is a Chinese territory. So it doesn't work that way for them. Not just the opposition parties who are going to say that she's showing weakness, but people in her own party who are very, very, very pro Taiwanese independence will also say that, look, you are showing signs of weakness. Maybe you may not be a good leader. Now, on the other hand, for Hong Kong, their hands are partially tied as well because they have Beijing to answer to. But at the same time, what Taiwan is saying that they want to do, which is to send Taiwanese officials to come into Hong Kong to pick up Chan and any other evidence that they have here to bring back to Taiwan for investigation, means that now they are allowing the Taiwanese police to have cross-boundary jurisdictions, which is not something that they want as well.
All right, thanks, Liz, for talking to us a bit about this, calling us live, of course, from Hong Kong. Do stay safe, and of course, if you'd like to read the latest developments, you can always head on down to our website at straitstimes.com.